I'm live. Hey, yo, check this out, y'all. This is your brother Baba. I mean Ojuok of the Uhuru Academy of Uhuru Academy Education Solutions. I'm having a very interesting social media week. My Facebook was hacked. I was locked out of Facebook, and Facebook is where I've been, you know what I'm saying, primarily for all these years. But people have always told me, develop your YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm about to do. It's a whole new journey. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not worried about numbers of views or anything like that. Well, I am. Yeah, well, it's not a worry thing, but the goal is to monetize the YouTube because that's going to help us build these schools and also help get the word out. You know what I'm saying? So y'all be on the lookout for my videos. All right. Now, you know, fancy backgrounds in this one. This is just me doing me, you know, and just me coming into this space, and we're going to be talking about African centered education. We're going to be talking about things that are going on in the world. Of course, I'm going to talk about what's going on at the Uhuru Academy. I want to give like an African centered analysis, a black centered analysis on things that are going on in the news, just going live a lot more on YouTube. I want you all to please subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, tell your friends to subscribe and follow the Uhuru Academy YouTube channel. Help us build this institution. Help us spread the word about our people, our story. Help us build an institution for African children all over the world. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate everybody for your support. Now, when we talk about African-centered education, what is African-centered education? What do we mean by African-centered? And I know some people may get offended by the word African. You know, you rather say black, you rather say a foundational black American or anything like that, y'all. But when we're not in that debate. When we say African-centered education, it's not a debate. It's not us entering the debate saying we are African. Okay, I think everyone will agree that we are a people of African descent, or that continent that we call Africa. Right now, look. African centered education merely means education that's geared towards pulling the full potential out of people of African descent. Right? It means teaching the history of the world through it from an African perspective, from our perspective as Black people. That's what it means, right? It means understanding our walk with mathematics, understanding our walk with science, understanding our walk with language, right? Understanding who we are as contributors to the human story. Right. And so that's what it means. The education you receive in school right now is a Eurocentric education. Notice I didn't say German centric. I didn't say Italian centric. I said Eurocentric, right? See, the general term, just like African centered, right? So what we're receiving in school right now is a Eurocentric education that teaches us about the world through the eyes of European people. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, that's the big difference, right? And the thing about seeing the world through the eyes of Europeans, you miss out on the contributions and the role that you've played. And since Europeans have been traditionally opposed to African people, even opposed to the humanity of African people. Oh, yeah, Gail, we lied. Even opposed to the humanity of African people, right? Then of course, when they tell the story through their eyes, it's not going to be a favorable story of African people. So you see African people starving, you see African people being enslaved, you see African people being colonized. That's their interaction. You see African people being portrayed as savage, as stupid, as animal like, because it's being told from their skewed perspective, right? As centuries old enemies of African people. Okay. Now, Eurocentric African centered education turns that on its ear. African centered education presents the African world first because that's the world our ancestors lived in first. And in African centered education, you don't even encounter Europeans until you're thousands and thousands of years into our story. Right. And then when you do encounter them, you encounter them as friends, you encounter them as business partners, but then you also encounter them as conquerors, as would be conquerors. You encounter them as people who attempted to conquer us over a period of centuries. So as opposed to Eurocentric education, where it looks like it was some sweeping, easy victory for the advanced Europeans to come in and conquer Africa, from an African center perspective, you see how it was a long, drawn out process, and that Europeans caught a lot of L's before they finally got some dubs in Africa, and that they never got the dubs without the help of other Africans. You know what I'm saying? So the story is not as dominant as you would think. Now, what does that do? What that does is it lets our students know right now that perhaps their perception of white people as being all powerful, all knowing is overblown. Right. And so when they step out into society, we won't step out thinking that we could be successful if white people approve of us. Right. Y'all remember the Wizard of Oz, where the wizard had this big old voice, oh, and then when they finally got to the wizard, turned out to be a little old dude talking through a megaphone. Right. Well, when you get a Eurocentric education, white people become the wizard. And you start thinking they see everything. They doing it. They won't let us do this. They won't let you do that. We give them even more power than they already have. We treat them as if they're one unified collective. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all banding together, right? And so African-centered education gets rid of that. African-centered education gets rid of the stigma that makes us afraid, you know what I'm saying, to get out here and reach our full potential because we think there's someone out here who has the power to limit us, right? And so just wanted to give a quick difference, right? African-centered education not only humanizes us, but it humanizes them as well. And that's important. African-centered education is not just geared to fight the myth of white supremacy. It's more so there to fight the myth of black inferiority. And that's what we all about at the Uhuru Academy. Okay, that's what we're about. We're about building programs and curriculum to help fight the myth of black inferiority. All right. So that's African-centered education. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you have any concerns, let us know. Like, share this video. There's going to be more topics. Anything you want to hear about, hit me up. But hey, this is where I'm coming now. I do have a podcast I do called The Morning Bill with Baba Mean. I'm moving that over here as well. And that's just me talking about what's going on in the world today. Or sometimes I might be inspired by a proverb or whatever. But that's just me imparting wisdom on the community. All right. So, hey, this was my first ever mobile live on my YouTube. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And visit uhuruacademy.com, www.uhuruacademy.com. All right. All right. Cool. Hey, I'm in the game, Miguel. I'm in the game. Let's make it happen, y'all. Let's make it happen. As soon as I realize how to stop this video, this live will be over. Okay. Let's see if that'll work. There it is. Yo, peace.